Hello there and welcome to another video, and today in this video I will be going over how to generate consistent images in Leonardo AI. And if that sounds about right, then let's head right in. So I will be going over my previous generations, and we'll do this by going to personal feed. Basically we're currently on your generations, and this is where you'll see all the generations you've made so far, all the image generations you've had so far in the past, and this is basically where they'll all be, right? So we're not doing any new image generation in this video, so I'll just be going over my previous generations and just going over some tips on how best to generate consistent characters. So as you can see here, this is more or less a James Bond type character. I'll just open it up. Right, you can see this is basically a James Bond type character, and this is the prompt right here that I used for this. Now do note the prompt, right? So I'll close this up. And right, so I basically used the same for this character right here, this, and equally this. So what we're going to do is that we're going to you've seen the prompt, right? So I'll just go ahead and click on this, and basically it's the same prompt. The only difference is I made a little modifications to this, and that's basically why it kind of seems like so I'll just move on to the next over here. As you can see, it's basically the same prompt, right? It's basically the same it's basically the same image. It's all basically consistent. I mean, the difference isn't really that much on this, but I wasn't really impressed at the consistency. It seemed too much, and that's basically because the image guidance was actually high. It was actually high, right? So that's basically why this is so right. So that's basically the issue I had with this. So like I said earlier, I did use one of these images as reference. I'm thinking this one. I can't really remember as reference. Okay, it should be this one, definitely this one as reference, but I actually scaled up the image guidance, and so this is basically what I got. It didn't really give me that difference. The basic difference I saw was the difference in looks. Most of the generations looked older than the other, and then I switched over, and as you can see, these are a bit consistent. Let's go into this one. So this is basically consistent, and all I did was just change a few keywords in the actual prompt itself, and I basically got this right, as you can see. So this is basically it, although there are some issues right here. You can add negative prompts. I'll just go over exactly how I got to use the image as a image for guidance, rather. So I changed the model later on to Leonardo diffusion, and this was basically the result I got. So you can see the consistency in the character. The difference is basically in the pose, right? So I tried something else, and I can't really say I was impressed with this, right? I can't really say I was impressed with this, but it tried to make it a bit consistent, but it didn't really give me the consistency I was looking for, right? So that's basically the issue I had with this one, right? So but this one did work well for me, right? This one did work well. All I had to do was use an image as guidance. I generated this image, and then I used it as guidance, and the variations I got was this, and of course something like this, which I till now really can't make any sense out of. All right, so hopefully so far that makes sense. So I got to modify I got to make some modifications and tried some other prompts, and I kind of was looking at something like this, right? So this and this, and I think I used this as this one as an image guidance for some other prompts, some other generations rather. I used the same prompts, but I used this image, this one right here. I used the same prompt, right? And I used this image right here, and I was able to get something like this. As you can see, it's basically the same prompt. All I had to do was change a few keywords, and I got something like this and this and this, which I really don't know how it related to, but you can see the consistency between the previous two. So I took some time off and I thought of a better idea. So I tried changing the model, as well as including some extra tweaking some extra settings on Leonardo AI. And I used alchemy and preset. I use cinematic. I set the depth to high, raw mode on. I use photo real, right? So those are basically what I used on this particular one. So as you can see, the prompts right here, just try to note the prompt right here. It's going to be a bit difficult, so try to note the prompt. So this is the one, the image I used as a guide. So basically, note the prompt. It starts with envision a captivating portrait of a boy enraptured by the wonders of the world around him. So that's basically how it starts, right there. Now this is what I used. Note the I think I'll just click in just so we see this clearly. So this is basically it. Let's just wait for this to load up. It's a bit blurry. Alright, so hopefully it's a bit clearer. So it looks real, it looks realistic, right? That's basically what I was looking for, something realistic and at the same time something that was a bit close up, so I could easily switch, I could easily tweak the prompt to kind of change a few things, but at the same time keep the image consistent. So this is basically what I used as my image guidance, and it really worked because this is one of the results I got. I was looking for all I had to do was remove a few, just add, yeah, I added a keyword, I added smiling, and this is basically what I got as a variation. So if you compare this to this, the difference isn't really that much. You will notice some major changes in the scene or the general appearance of the person or the character, depending on the image strength, image to image strength you use. So that will equally matter, but the bottom line is I was able to use the same image as image guidance and at the same time produce variations while changing some keywords. It's mostly safe to add one or two keywords, just so the difference isn't that much. That way your image remains consistent, else you might be looking at a major change. So from this point I kind of removed the smiling and added something like laughing, and I'll just show you an example of that. So it's somewhere around now let's see, famous artist. Just so you, I just want to highlight what exactly I added, what exactly I removed. All right, so this is basically here while laughing. So this is the image while laughing. It's basically the same prompt but while laughing, and this one has smiling. So hopefully that made sense. It's more or less an issue of having your image generated and then using that image as a guidance. So first of all, I would have tried some examples, but I really don't want this video to be too long, so I just took my time to actually create these, to generate the images, and then thought about going over the settings. So I'll just go over to image generation just so I show you how to use a generated image as guidance. So you can do this by downloading the image. So it can work. You can do that by downloading the image, but it might be a bit of a stress to having to download the image, then importing it back into your project. So if you hover over the image right here at the top, you will see this right here, and it says use as image guidance input. So that's basically how it worked. So I'll just go straight down. So this was my first set of generations, this and of course this, and this is the one I used as guidance. So I used it as guidance, and I was able to generate these variations. So after that, I tweaked it a little bit and decided to add laughing to it. This I used smiling on this one, and this I used laughing on this one. So you can note the settings over here. They're basically really straightforward. So alchemy and photoreal, those are basically all you need to know for that. And the photo strength, I set it to 3.0, 0.3, 0.30 rather. So you can tweak this. It will, like, generally it will determine. It's best to keep it just keep it somewhere around here. Like, it's whatever just play around with this, play around with this, and just try to find a way to play with the settings. But the key is your prompt should be consistent. So the consistency actually lies within your prompt. First step is to generate to get a prompt. You can use ChatGPT or any source out there if you are not talented enough to actually be descriptive about what exactly you want, but you have an idea, so you can do that. So yeah, get your prompts, use your prompt to generate an image, use that image as guidance, and then tweak some settings. And depending on what you're looking for, I just use photoreal and alchemy because well, they just seemed, I was just looking for something realistic, right? And then tweak the image to image strength. That will equally determine how well the image generated looks like the previous one, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And then you would want to tweak some basically whatever it is you want to have this character look or do, then you can do something like that there, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. If this video did give you some insights or tips on how best to create consistent characters in Leonardo AI, then do well to leave a like on this video, and of course subscribe to the channel for more tips and tutorials, and I will see you in another video.